all the delegates, educationists. Good morning, everyone. Successful people do ordinary things in different ways with extraordinary concentration, extraordinary commitment, and extraordinary focus. In fact, by this quote, I tried to improve, enhance reading skills at class 6th level students in my school, Zphs Avunoor. And I wanted to give a great, strong foundation to continue their high school education. And for that, I have tried in different activities I have tried in the classroom. Among them, some of them I will share with you. Student-teacher concept. One is student-teacher concept. Active classroom transactional process. Supportive material. Classroom library. Support from other teachers in the school. And frequent assessments. As a frequent assessment as an integral part of classroom transaction. So these are the innovators I tried to implement, follow in the classroom. So when it was July 2023, when class 6th students, 33 students came into our school, after conducting baseline test, the results were really shocking. Out of 33 students, there were only 9 students who are able to read 60 words per minute, which is suggested by Unnati program. 9 students only able to read 60 words, more than 60 words, and 8 students are only able to read 30 to 60 words per minute, and other students, 16 students are not able to read even 30 words at that time. It was in June, July. So it is every year I have been facing this issue in the class 6. So every year I have been doing something, and this year with the motivation of our Bharati Foundation, I did something great. So the students who are able to read more than 60 words, I made them as student teacher, and the students who are able to read even 30 words, I made them as students, and I asked the students to select the students. I gave the students, the slow students I gave the freedom to select. So the student teachers as their guides. So they have freedom while selecting. They choose their friends and the students who live at their houses. So 2 students and 2 students, slow learners took 1 student as guide student teacher. So it started going on. In every activity, in every language component, there are different types of components in English learning. I asked the students unable to read, they took help these students. I give them prizes. The students who are achieving results. This one is the transactional process. I made the classroom anxiety free and more confident and class. I followed a cognitive, behavioral, humanistic approach. I followed the approach in the classroom. I showed my trustworthiness towards the children. So when they fell in love with the teacher and the subject, very easy. I followed the classroom transaction in a different way. I completed till now. I completed 6 units. Out of 6 units, students nearly 10 plays they prepared them and they presented in the classroom after all this journey. So while class transaction, what did I do? Every day when we were discussing, every day I made them into groups, collaborating reading. I made them into groups. The student teacher, student teacher, student. A proper seating arrangements were done in the classroom. So they took help from the student teacher every time while doing these activities, test sheet, reading test, other things. So while reading text, I gave them list of words for pronunciation with contextual meaning. I wrote some words, list of words. I gave some supporting material to them. So list of words, I said them to how to pronounce, and I said them the meaning of the words in contextually. I explained them. I didn't give the meaning on the blackboard, but I told them how to use them contextually. So the student teachers got it perfectly, and later after some time or some days, students also tried to understand the concepts. So like this, I followed I implemented these reading text in the classroom. One more thing, characterization. I made each and every text into characterized. So how in 6 units there are a lot of lessons. In the Bazaars of Hyderabad there is a poem. So with every character, I gave the character to the student. In 6th class, each and every reading, study school, everything, there are some characters. I gave the character to the student, and the character's dialogues I gave him to say in the class. So it is the need arises here. So the student tried to read it. How can a student even cannot read? How can he say the dialogue? The need arises here. So student tried to read and memorize it. Maybe we are memorizing is wrong. No. If a student wanted to create something, he has to memorize, and after that he has to understand, he has to analyze, he has to apply, and then he will create something. So keeping this in my mind, so I gave them dialogues. Students started memorizing, reading, and all these things were done. Then students tried to read again and again, so that reading has been improved at last. So the characterization and these activities. While doing activities, every time I focused on my model presentation. During face sheet, I gave my model presentation. During reading, I gave my model reading. And during written works, first I gave my model presentation. Every time, each and every time, whatever activity is done in the classroom, first I gave my model presentation. After instructing them, after taking collaborative help from other students, I gave my model presentation so that students understood how to present, how to do the activities. Then they could help from the peer groups. So it made a real success in the classroom. So students, the proximal development of the students has been improved. Students took help. Students not only learn through teachers, but peer group also. So I completely focused on peer group learning in the classroom. So the classroom transaction, I made it into an active way, and then I gave some supportive material to the students. So what are the supportive material I gave them? I asked the students in the first June, July, asked the students to prepare some story cards. It was a really wonderful success I got. When I asked the 6th class students to prepare story cards in English, 2 students, Sahitya and Tarmayasri from my class, they prepared more than 30 story cards using the invitation card, and all those things. From all the 6th class students, they prepared 180 plus cards. And I asked all the students in other classes also. Together, all of our school made 800 plus story cards. Then it was a wonderful success. In that story cards, students, I asked them to prepare story cards after reading only. Then students started reading that, and then they write on the story card. So they prepared this. So this is the material I gave them. So different types of material. I gave them some sounds, how to pronounce the words, and I gave them high frequent words, 2-letter words, 3-letter words, 4-letter words, and I asked the students to write down in the rough note. I kept a separate rough note for English. Each and every activity, each and every the material I give on the blackboard should be written in the rough note only. So separate rough note they maintain, separate activity. Every activity written works are done in the rough note only. So I gave, and with the help of Bharati Foundation also, we gave in the June, July, we gave some story books to the students, handwriting books to the students. It was earlier. It took nearly 2 to 3 months to keep a handwriting book by each and every child. అంత టైం పట్టేది 2-3 నెలలు అయితే కానీ అందరు పెట్టేది కాదు కొనుక్కునేది కాదు చాలా సమస్యలు ఉండేవి But when I asked Bharati Foundation, they gave me 33 handwriting copies, and I gave them every day. My first period is in class 8, and after bell rings, I go after 5 minutes. Before I enter into the classroom, the students will be ready with keeping handwriting copies on the table and keeping a textbook, rough note in hands, pen in textbook, pencil in textbook, and pen in rough book. They are ready. So with this approach, cognitive, humanistic, and with these approach, when I and we both fell in love with one another and with the subject, so they were really enjoying English language. At first, I asked the students, "What is your favorite subject?" They said some other subjects. Now, I can tell that my students' favorite subject, most of the students' favorite subject is compulsory. It is English. I can surely say that. And one more thing, I followed classroom library. This material, now we are not keeping other material as in the classroom library. We prepared some boxes, we kept some classroom material, self-made material. It is nothing but self-made material. So students prepared the cards. I have already told you, those cards are kept in the classroom. Luckily, for class 6th and 7th, we are having 2 extra periods. Out of 8 periods, 6 only subject periods. One is for games, it's okay. The other one is, it is free. So we have been spending that period, at least 3 periods in a week, we have been spending on the classroom library. So students are reading the books in that period. Other teacher, my Kavita madam in our school, 6th class teacher, will go in last period. She has been trying very hard and the students are reading the books. So with the help of my teachers, colleagues, I did it. It was very easy to me. So I asked my teachers also, other teachers also, social studies, science, mathematics teachers. I asked them to use this student-teacher method. My list, whatever the list is pasted on the wall in the classroom. So who is student teacher and who is the student? So I asked the students to take the help of the list and please follow that list, that type of the seating arrangements, the student teachers. So the teachers also took the help of the list, and it has been a wonderful journey. And next one, assessments. The main thing is frequent assessments. Actually, here the assessment, if you ask our students, is assessment done? They don't know what is assessment. When does my teacher check me? They do not know, because the assessment became a integral part of the classroom practice. Student will come to me, sir, last time I read only 30 words. Now I will read 40 words today. Please, sir, please check me once, sir. They will come to me and they ask me. So assessment is not another thing. It is just became an integral part. I ask the students to speak with one another, speaking activity. Ask the students in peer group, they will write and all these things. So assessment became an integral part. And every 15 days, 20 days, I check their overall reading frequency. There are wonderful changes I got. I will tell you after some time. Yes. So one more thing, collaborative and scaffold reading. Unnati as a DRP, I went to Hyderabad. I acted as DRP. Unnati gave me wonderful suggestions to do. Of course, we have been following all those things, but still there are a lot of things we have to follow. The scaffolding reading, collaborative reading, asking different type of analytical, factual questions, and all those things in English. So when I followed all these techniques in the classroom, results were really wonderful. So those are I also suggest personally, and I also followed all those things in the classroom, and I got the results. So the results. What are the results I got? At first, the ORF, oral reading fluency of the student. In June and July, it was just 35. Average of the classroom, it was just 35 words. But February, when I checked again, January it was 60 plus, and February it is 72 words. Average oral reading frequency 72 words. At that time, I have already told you, 9 students were only able to read more than 60 words. Now there are 11 students who are able to read more than 100 words. 11 students are there. Nearly 66% of the students are able to read now more than 60 words in a minute. But still, I have to go there are 12 students, still they are unable to read 60 words per minute. I will make the 6 students, 6 out of 12 in next 2 months. I hope I will achieve it, but 6 students will be left. I think I will take this as a challenge in next academic year, and I hope I will get the result also. So the final result, finally, student misses every day. If I don't go to school, they will ask, why didn't you come to school? So this is the final result I got. And finally, I wanted to conclude my presentation with one sentence. Teachers' trustworthiness and wisdom. Teachers' trustworthiness and wisdom address students' emotional and intellectual needs. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
One more big round of applause for Ganesh sir. So, beginning లో చెప్పినట్టు అసెస్మెంట్స్ అనేవి మనం వీఆర్ టెస్టింగ్ యూ అనే ఒక ప్రెషర్ లో పెట్టకుండా how he made it as an integral part of the regular transaction is very inspiring, sir. So there are many takes that we can get inspired, and word per minute checking anedi, this is very important. Students kuda it will be like a game, language game. Okay, 1 minute lo how many words I am reading. Inkokati sir paper detail chuste, he has also sir paper detail chuste dantlo syllabus words per minute lo just random words kaakunda tough words, easy words, syllables ఎంత లెంత్ ఉన్న వర్డ్స్ ని చదవగలుగుతున్నారని he went into very details. అక్కడ నుండి స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే మళ్ళీ the kind of material that the students have prepared, self made material, and the distribution and sharing of the materials